Millennial what?
Prayer trust.
You are watching us from the last home we've ever owned tonight. Consider
Millennial
yourself
what?
lucky. Same goes for
Millennial
anyone-
who? My name is Leise and I'm a fucking millennial.
I did not.
Cause we're for real. We made it out some shit. For real. Yeah, you know we run the world, right?
Saying in Tennessee, I know it's in
Just want
Texas,
y'all to know
probably
that.
Tennessee, this just fooled me
Just
once.
saying. That don't even sound right. That don't even sound like me.
You are fake news.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the individual guest's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of Millennials Anonymous or M.A.P.S Media. The material and information presented here is for entertainment purposes only and not meant to malign any person, place, thing, or group. M.A.P.S Media's name and all forms and abbreviation are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement or opposition of any specific organization, product, or service. This is purely entertainment, folks. Now let's get it. Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of Millennials Anonymous podcast. Yes, it is your girl Leise Winny and I am a fucking millennial. It is season 5. We are stomping all the way into the building. You know, every time we have a season premiere, I have to have somebody on that I really admire. And today we have Mr. HeadKrack himself. We are back speaking to him. It's been a minute, but we are back speaking to him. We talked about everything, okay? We got into the things of the things, the Kehlani interview. We talked about the morning hustle and, you know, kind of the rotations and differences that they've had over the last couple of months. We also talked about his celebrity boxing match. He fought Kimbo Slice Jr., Baby Slice, and he stood toe to toe. Now, this interview is pre-recorded, but he did stand toe to toe with him. He did really, really well. I don't have the stats in front of me, but he did really, really well. But they didn't give it to him. They gave it to Baby Slice. But he did it. He did the damn thing. I would like him to come back to talk about what that was like. You know, once you do, it's different from doing it. But once you do something to see whether or not it's something that you really want to do again, to see like, yo, probably wouldn't do that again. Oh yeah, I think I want to fight everybody. So we got to have him back at some point. But we talked all the things. We didn't talk stand-up comedy, which he is also a stand-up comedian. We did not talk about that. But we'll have him back at one point and we'll talk about it. But we have so many things going on in general. Happy Pride Month to all of my good folks out there celebrating Pride, okay? June is Pride Month. It's been Pride parades all over the place doing it, okay? They are absolutely doing it despite some of the states. I don't know, was it Florida or was it Texas? It's one of these states that actually wanted to make it like a misdemeanor to bring a child to a Pride parade. Because we don't have nothing else to worry about for children. Like, absolutely nothing. Like, this is the primary focus to make sure that little Johnny doesn't see the pride. Like, that, of all the things, this is your issue. This is what you're worried about. Okay. Yeah, I think we got bigger fish to fry. Johnny is dodging bullets in school, but we worrying about him seeing somebody in a boa. We gotta fix it. We gotta fix it. Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. And we also are celebrating Juneteenth. This is the first time we really are getting like this federal holiday. Shout out to all my people in the federal government that's home right now. Okay, celebrating Juneteenth. And if you don't know what Juneteenth is at this point, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I really want to kind of like slap you a little bit because go get a book. Anytime Walmart is selling ice cream, they selling do-rags out here and all of that, they sell. No, we need y'all to know what it is. And I know a lot of my good people is out there like, no, we can't have them Cinco de Mayo all day. The good folks down in Galveston, Texas have been fighting for a long time to make this a reality, to get more people to recognize this day. Because there's a lot of days we could probably celebrate for freedom in this country. You know what I mean? Black people wasn't free back in 1776. We just wasn't on the 4th of July. We just wasn't free. It wasn't for us. The land of the free and the brave only applied to white men. So it didn't apply to us, okay, at the time. So we could probably, of course, celebrate Juneteenth. Why not celebrate Juneteenth and have more people understand and recognize what that is? Not to mention, maybe when they let the people go in the Japanese internment camps. Maybe we could celebrate that too. Yep, we could do that. I would say we could celebrate the freedom of the Native Americans, but I don't know if, I mean, we still on their land, so I'm not sure how we fix that. And then a lot of y'all still is mad about the Keystone Pipeline, which was going directly through their land. Like, that's technically all of it's their land, but aren't they considered a sovereign nation of their own? I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I really don't know. But we do need to celebrate Juneteenth, and more people need to know about Juneteenth and what Juneteenth is. I don't want less people to know about it. I want more people to know about it. That's just me. So happy Juneteenth. Put the fist up in the air. Happy Juneteenth. And then we also have Father's Day or Father's Day. It depends on where you from. Okay. You might put a V in father if you from where I'm from. But happy Father's Day to all of the dads out there. Happy Father's Day to the dad who don't really spend no time with his kids, but he do live in a house. Okay, happy Father's Day to you too. Okay, happy Father's Day to all the dads who are providers, but not necessarily like fathers. You know what I mean? Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to the overly involved father that's living vicariously through his son playing sports because he didn't make it. Happy Father's Day to you too. And happy Father's Day to all of the good fathers out there and the great fathers out there and the father figures and the stepdaddies. When I tell you, if you have a good stepfather, a lot of us didn't, get that man an extra steak, okay? Give that man, do you know how hard it is to be a father? You know how hard it is to be a parent and how much harder it is to be a parent to somebody else's kid? What? If we don't give they need a man K. We gonna create a man K. Instead of a bouquet, they gonna get a man K. Maybe they want some flowers too. Maybe we need to do a little extra for daddy. Because I feel like daddy just gets sex. And maybe he don't want that. You know what I mean? Like, I've been seeing a lot of fathers who've been saying that this is what they get. And I'm like, no, we can't just have this. Take them out to eat. You know, let them get a massage. Something. Don't buy your dad a tool. You've never seen him fix anything in the house ever. Like, I mean, y'all rent that. Like, stop. We need to make sure that we doing something for daddy. Let's do it for daddy so that daddy feels appreciated like mommy feels appreciated. Even though I'm not gonna lie, and this is maybe me just being a little biased, but I feel like moms do a lot. Okay, but fathers do a lot too. And there are some fathers out there that are single fathers that are taking care of the kids all by themselves. So we will not ignore those fathers either. And happy Father's Day to the zaddies, okay, that have already raised their kids, but now they out here providing for some woman or man who is from a fatherless household. So happy Father's Day to you too. Okay, happy Father's Day. So we're gonna get to this interview. It's a lot going on out here in these streets politically. We're not gonna have Millennials minutes today, but we will talk about it because inflation is high. All right, and I want to break down to y'all what that actually means, because a lot of y'all don't really get it. So I'm going to talk about it, and we got to talk about all the shootings that are going on out here in these streets. It's a lot. Something in the water was here in D.C., and there was a shooting. Someone was killed, an officer was wounded. Like, it was a whole thing after that festival let out. So we'll talk about it. But for now, I gotta get to the interview with Mr. HeadKrack, because I know that's what you came for. And if it is, welcome. The meeting has started. Welcome. Yeah, and my mic was unplugged the entire time. I didn't realize it until it was done. But it's okay. We gonna make it work. Let's do it. So I am excited. I'm back for the second time. So it was last time I think I spoke to you. It was in 2020.
Okay.
So it was a lot more people. It was 4 of us. Now it is just one. It's the lone survivor.
Like Squid Game.
It is. It is very much like Squid Games, which we'll talk about in a minute. And lately, these days, you've been looking like you could kick somebody's ass. So how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I am, by the time people see this, I think this is dropping on the 20th. So
yes,
I've been training for a fight, which is taking place June 11th. So we're speaking about this in future tense. So I just got finished, whooping Kimbo Slice Jr.'s ass, celebrity boxing. It was quite the vibe. Been training since January. And man, I've never felt better.
Have you always been this physically fit? Is this what you do?
I've been saying this a lot lately because someone said it to me and it really rang bells. But like when you find a sport that you're really supposed to be doing, your body will react appropriately.
Okay.
And I've been trying to get in a certain type of shape for a long time, and boxing has gotten me into the shape that I've always wanted to be in.
Okay.
Because like I've always had trainers. I've been going to the, I go to the gym 3-4 times a week. You lift your weights, you do your cardio, but it's something about this boxing training that has like, got me chiseled in all the right areas.
I've heard people say that about boxing. Now, I would never want to get hit in the face, but I wouldn't mind training to get hit in the face. Does that make sense?
No, it does make sense because a lot of people who do go to this particular boxing gym that I go to, most of these people have no ambitions of stepping in the ring, but they'll do the boot camps to where like, they're punching the bags and just doing the cardio and the hit stuff. And but yeah, no face shots, no body shots. They just, just doing the physicality of it all. And everybody seems to be in a great mood. Because I think too, you need ways to like let that frustration, seep out of your soul.
It make you feel bad though. It make you feel like you a badass. Everybody bad. Mike Tyson said everybody bad so you get hit in the face. I mean,
absolutely. And I've been punched in the face quite a few times
over
the last few months. Yeah, because you have to know how it all feels.
So wait a minute, how that work? Do you stand there and like your sparring partner just hit you in the face, or does it just kind of like happen?
I mean, the key is to try to not get hit in the face, but but when you're training for it, you're training like it's the fight, right? So in the fight, you're gonna get hit.
True.
You know what I mean? So you got to know what it feels like to get hit. You have to know how it feels to hit another person back. And it's not like how it be in the movies, like when you hit somebody, you be like, yeah, it's all good. Like, no, later you go and your hands will hurt. All the other parts of your body that took shots will hurt later. Like, there's been times where I've left the gym and like 12 hours later, I felt like I was in a car accident.
Ooh, okay.
But that's pain is weakness leaving the body. So the more and more you do it, the more and more, hopefully, you get used to it.
Yeah.
And,
did you shit your pants when you found out Kimbo? Because Kimbo Slice, that's baby Slice. I mean, did you panic? Did you know it was Kimbo Slice Jr.? Or are you like, I got this?
He's not his dad, right? Like Kimbo Slice.
He got daddy jeans.
I mean, don't we all? You know
True.
what I'm saying? Like, I mean, shoot. Like, everybody thought Michael Jackson's kids was going to be,
Okay.
He got great genes. But also people say those are not his kids. But that's neither here nor there. But
We're gonna leave that alone.
But at the end of the day, I wasn't afraid because like at the end of the day, like we're all mortals, we're all human beings. So like you have good enough chance to beat me as I have good enough chance beating you.
That is very true.
Miracles and upsets happen every day. David whooped Goliath. Granted, he had a weapon. But
yeah, don't bring that with you. Don't bring that. You will get disqualified.
Yeah, you'll be DQ'd. You can't bite the ear unless you try to like have the fight end early. But at the end of the day, I wanted something that was going to challenge me.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's somebody who I knew wasn't really bringing nothing to the table, where's the challenge for me?
True.
You know what I mean? So like, this has really pushed me to do and dig deeper than I had to dig in a long time for anything. Because like, I mean, everything else has been like mental boxing, it's been like rap battles or just conversations and things like that. But the physicality of it all, it's a different monster. And I'm glad I stepped in.
Did they approach you? So it was like, hey, do you want to do this? Or were you like, I'm interested. I think I might want to try it.
I had my manager reach out to get the ball rolling, right? Because I've been watching celebrity boxing for years, right? Like, because the same people to put this on, they was doing this like way back in the late 90s on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
But then they kind of went, underground for a little bit. And then when they started coming back, I started seeing some of the lineups. And it's like, yo, I could do that. I could whoop that person. Well, damn, that person didn't take it seriously. I would take it really seriously. So my manager reached out. Next thing you know, we got a call back. And like Kimbo Slice wasn't the first name. There was other people.
Oh, really?
Initially I was supposed to fight. But, they backed out. Then other people who I was interested in fighting was like, nah, dog. You know what I mean? And
you
then
scary, You scary.
I mean, like, I'm the guy from TV. Most people would be like, I'm too nice. But, everybody got an off and on switch. I mean, everybody thought Will Smith was nice. But everybody got a little demon in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And most of the spaces and places I operate, there's no room for the demon to be. You know what I mean? Like, I'm on the radio. Like, I can't be an asshole on the radio. I mean, you can be, but...
We're going to talk about that. We're going to get in it. Because, it's been some stuff.
Oh,
like, especially
I'm here for all the shenanigans. Let's talk about it all.
Since you brought it up, I mean, you had brought it up. Last time I spoke to you, the morning hustle was getting started. Like, it wasn't, it hadn't happened yet. It was coming. I mean, you had similar to what I had. It was sort of like Squid Games, the Soul Survivor. Like, what happened? Because, like, you had, Billy Sorrell, and it seems like it kind of like dwindled. Is it that they didn't want to do it anymore, or
it's not really that as much as it was. They had the company had their own ideas of what they wanted to try to do. Okay. And they were trying to like take some ideas that they already kind of had for something that they was trying to build and merge it with something that I was trying to build. Okay. And the thing about me is I can work with anyone. Okay. I'm just that kind of person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put me in any environment, like even if we're trying to make a car and I have 2 triangles, a hexagon, and a spear, I will figure out a way to make this car roll. I really will. But at the end of the day, like, some people got in their own way, or or some people just had like personal issues that just kind of made it difficult for them to do the job that was being asked. And then some people were in a position where like, hey, listen, I don't necessarily have to do this, and I can go do these other things that truly bring me joy. Okay. And, so that was why another person exited. And then there was another person who I just knew from day one, you're not going to be here long.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, so now it's down to me and L'Oreal, and every now and then we have like, a couple of different people like fill in. But I mean, once again, I could work with anybody.
Would you bring Eva permanently?
Would I bring Eva permanently? I wouldn't be mad at that, because like initially when I was trying to like launch this show, like she was on my short list of people who I wanted, because we had a great vibe, when we was doing the Ricky Smiley Morning Show together. So I wasn't opposed to that at all, to be honest with you. Okay. But and we actually had her fill in for a week, and she was great.
Yeah. So I do want to ask you that, because I think that some issues popped off with Eva and L'Oreal about Kevin Samuels. Like, people really weren't happy about the reporting. Do you feel like we as media people automatically are villainized by the way that we approach it? Or do you feel like sometimes we are trying to go viral and things don't necessarily come out good? Like, what do you think?
I definitely think there's a little bit of that. And like, I missed that complete wave. That must have been from their podcast. Was that podcast they do from Macy's? The Undressing Room. That must have been from the Undressing Room podcast. And the thing is, all right, so these statements were made while Kevin Samuel was still alive. All right. And this is just me, like, just assuming I'm pretty sure I know what the conversation was about. But while Kevin Samuel was alive, everyone wasn't showed him the same love they showed him when he died. Like, he was like a villain to many people.
To many people. I mean, men, let's be real. A lot of black men, he was their hero, not necessarily a villain. They looked up to him.
And it depends what kind of optics that you look at these people with, because I got it. Like, this wasn't who this guy truly was. Yeah. It was a character. It was some strong opinions dialed up to 100, right? Okay. And because that's what makes people talk. You know what I mean? If you come through and you tell everybody all the nice things that they want to hear all the time, that doesn't necessarily always move the needle. Sometimes you got to like create outrage to get the conversation going, to help your content be viral. Kind of like a Rush Limbaugh. Yeah. I have a hard time believing Rush Limbaugh truly believed all the things he said. I don't really listen to much Rush Limbaugh, but I understand the character archetype, right? Okay. Because people understand that controversy gets retweets. It gets reposts. people get mad. Oh, did you see what this guy said? Da 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 da. Let me see what he's gonna say next.
Okay.
There is something about culture at large that people love controversial figures that say not necessarily the wrong thing, but things that, are the opposite sometimes of popular opinion. And when you be able to be able to do that ice skating thing and do it perfectly to where you could do it but not get canceled, there's a supreme brilliance to it. And I feel like Kevin Samuels really mastered it and knew exactly what buttons to press to trigger all the right people.
I agree.
And then when he passed, everybody's got him on the church fans now, like how they used to have him in Eddie Jackson.
Well, he said it.
Tattoos.
He said it 4 years ago. They have him on live saying that he doesn't do much, going after men because men didn't want to hear that. They wanted to hear him going after women, particularly black women. And so that's what he did. I'm not going.
And that's the crazy thing about guys too. If Kevin Samuels was saying the same thing to guys that he's saying to women, we just wouldn't listen to Kevin Samuels because we don't like to be told nothing, right?
Facts.
But women would be like, oh, hell no. I'm going to send a whole all caps post right under your joint. And when you understand that and you understand the psychology of how people work, you know how to play the game properly. And Kevin knew how to play the game. And it just sucks that he passed on the same week that he appeared on Atlanta because I felt like, man, he did a great job on that. And that could have been the beginning of more acting and more opportunities for that brother.
Yeah, I think that it could have been, and maybe we may have seen a different side of Kevin saying, I don't agree with shit he said, so I don't want people to start that. I do not agree with Kevin Samuels at all. Nothing he said. But again, he passed away. It's very, very unfortunate because he was very young. I don't wish that on anyone.
Yeah, you gotta leave those gas station penis pills alone, guys.
Yeah. Well, he said it. He said it. I didn't say it. I just want y'all to know that came out of his mouth.
I'm just saying, but because there's so many people who are having heart attacks young.
That's true.
And we are just taking, using, doing whatever.
Right.
Without any fact checking or knowing what really works with your body. And I'm not saying that's what killed him, but
we
eat
optics. Shitty. We eat shitty. That's our culture. Of course, it came from slavery, and that's how we had to make the food taste good. So we season everything, but we don't eat great. So that's the
biggest problem I have with the FDA because they make a lot of things illegal, but there's a lot of things that can kill us that are constantly on Front Street for us to purchase.
Oh yeah, McDonald's he should be on death row. Ronald McDonald probably should be on death row right now.
I mean, everything in moderation, but
true. But really, is McDonald's that good? If you truly as an adult sit down and eat a McDonald's burger, don't you feel regret instantly? Man,
I wish I could say that. However, because I've had McDonald's in the last month or two, right?
McDonald's used to be it.
The little tiny cheeseburgers are perfect. They are so perfect. They're they barely qualify as a hamburger. They're slightly bigger than a White Castle burger, but I don't know. I never feel bad when I eat those because it's in moderation. It's a small portion. It's not a double quarter pounder with cheese or 2 Big Macs.
See, that's why I'm fat. I would get the double quarter pounder.
Because for me, my Achilles, my kryptonite food is pizza. And I don't feel bad when I eat it. However, if I'm not eating gluten-free pizza, it shows up on my belly immediately, right?
Okay.
And then
are you gluten-free? Is that do you have?
Yo, I did a whole series of tests, right?
Yeah.
With this one wellness doctor, and and I paid for the most expensive test that one could get. And the crazy thing is my 2 biggest not external allergens but internal allergens, gluten and ginger. Which is whack because I use ginger to help my voice, but however, my intestines don't like it, and I don't notice anything, outward when I drink ginger. But I guess maybe it inflames my intestines a little bit, and it might help bloat me a little bit.
Oh, that's crazy because I know ginger helps with your stomach. But
Hmm.
speaking of viral,
Right.
you did go viral with
Yeah.
Miss Kehlani.
Hmm.
What happened? Like, did something happen? Because like I've watched so many. I'm a fan of hers. I absolutely love her, and she seems like the most down person. Did something happen prior to her actually coming into the studio?
I mean, I'll tell you like this, right? So we've interviewed Kehlani before on Zoom. Great interview. She was cool, very cool. So I was, like anytime I interview people prior, I'm always looking forward to picking up right where we left off, right? Because that's the type of person I am. I feel like, the type of interviews I like to try to do is I like to try to starts off as an interview, hopefully we leave as friends. You know
Right.
what I mean? So with this one, when she came in, I could tell she was a little down or something. I was like, "Hey, you all right?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm just really tired." Da 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 da. Da. And I think she also got there like a lot earlier than she should have,
Oh,
because
okay.
like the interview was supposed to be at like 9:45, right? Because
Okay.
we like pre-recorded the last little part of our show so we could start her early because we had her at 9:40 from 9:45 to 10:15, and then we had LMA from 10:15 to 10:45. So
Got you.
we had to run at a very effective shift. But like I started seeing her people as early as like 8. And I'm like, wow, that's early, like. And I even told the producers, like, yo, make sure they good, if they need water or anything, or food, whatever. So when she came in, and I also know too, she's not really the biggest. She, like in previous years, I was told that she doesn't really like doing a lot of interviews, right?
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like understanding that and being weaponized with that, and I wouldn't even say weaponized with that information, but knowing that information, I always like to try to meet people where they are, make them feel
Hmm.
as comfortable as possible. So in my research, I saw that in an interview she did with Sway, where she was talking about how like pronoun wise she identifies as they, she,
They.
and her,
Hmm.
right? And to be completely honest with you, I think all that stuff is weird, unique, and okay, this is where we are now as a
Okay. Okay.
society. Here I am, an adult, asking you to call me HeadKrack. Okay, as crazy as I may find it, I get it, I understand it, and I will meet you where you at because, hey, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
me being me, I wanted to, like, on the way in, let you
Hmm.
know that, hey, I've done my research. I know what you like to be called. And, like, hey, I'm here to meet you and greet you where you are. So, I was like, yo, they are in the building. She is with us. Her name is Kehlani. Boom. And then from that moment on, it seemed like, what was already
Oh.
like
Okay.
medium energy from her dipped even lower. And I think the assessment is that I was making fun of it, which I
Hmm.
truly wasn't. If you know me,
Hmm.
no, I would like, if I'm gonna make fun of something, I'm going to make fun of something. And I introduced her with the same energy that I would introduce anybody. You
Got
know what
you.
I mean? And I think she took it wrong. And while I'm still trying to figure out what the hell's going on, because like sometimes people get text in the middle of an interview or something that
Yeah.
doesn't go right, whatever, or somebody does something in the room. There's a lot going on, so I'm thinking that it's anything but this
Right.
or what I said, right? Because like,
Right.
hey, like I did the research. These are the things that are actually in your social media handle and profile. So I don't want to disrespect you by not,
Okay.
identifying what that is.
Right.
But even but even people in the comments, like, I was looking at the comments and people were like, yeah, you were making fun of her. It's like, nigga, no, it wasn't. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and you could only reply that back to so many times, so many people before you be like, all right, I don't got time to fight and wrestle with all y'all
Right.
because I know my intention
Hmm.
and God know my heart. So, and then even too, like, I listened to the album, which is a good album.
It's a
You know what I
great
mean?
album.
Great
Yes.
album. She's a talented artist. I like Kehlani. I really do. And like, when we were asking questions about the album, she like, like one answer, one word answered
I
us.
noticed that. That's why I wasn't sure if you guys had beef. Like, did you get into it prior to?
No, like I said, like she came in and her energy was just a little down from what I was used to seeing it. And and I'm just, trying to pick up your vibration so we can have a great interview. And
Did you reach out afterwards? Like, did you say, "Hey,
no, like
I'm
so
sorry"?
yo, like that left such a bad taste in my mouth that I almost didn't want to do the next interview
Okay.
because I am a people person, I'm an energy person, I'm somewhat of an empath. So the energy in the room was just bad.
I could see that.
After that. And then, like L'Oreal asked a couple questions that like, rub the streets the wrong way too. But by then everything was on the table. It was all par for the course.
Okay.
But, at this point we could ask what's your nipple shape? And like, because it was just already bad. So it wasn't like I did the pronoun thing and then she immediately asked, are you scissoring scissor? You know what I mean? Like, a gap of time was there. A bunch of other questions were asked and attempted. Any other interviewer would have been like, all right, this interview's over. We done. But because we're just trying to figure out what the issues here, we kind of continued to flesh it out, And then even too, like, people was like, you said you do your research, but you didn't even know that she was dating 007 Shake. And it's like, yo, I prefaced it with like, because when L'Oreal asked what she asked about SZA, I was like, yeah, like I saw on Reddit that they're saying that you and 070 Shake might be a thing. What's up with that? And then she like kind of non-answered that as well. And then all of her fan base is like, how did you not know that? Here's the thing. I don't care about people's relationships.
Amen.
I really don't. Like I know there's a lot of interviewers who that's their thing. Right. And that's great. But me, I like to humanize people through their art. And my approach in the interview was to take things from the album and dive a little deeper within that. But when you're giving me nothing,
right?
I
picked up on that immediately. That it seemed like your line of questioning was a lot more music focused. I did pick up on that. So I know that's who you are. That's typically how you handle it. Like you don't get down. I mean, you've asked the questions, but you don't necessarily get down in the nitty gritty that. Raunchy. Do you think that's the problem with media and why we're looked at that way? Because now it is that viral moment where you do have to go viral. I'm not picking on anybody, but there are some platforms where that's their thing.
Yeah, no, there are a whole lot of platforms that, like they aim for like having the viral moment. And if that's your thing, fantastic. But I'm not here to create a viral moment at the expense of an artist. Like
because you guys did go viral, but it wasn't intentional. Like that's not what you were trying to do.
That's not what I set out to do at all. Like actually between the two interviews, I thought that was going to be the most fun.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was the opposite of fun. Like I wanted to go home after that. You know what I mean? And then and I don't even have to be online to tell when people are saying some hateful shit about me. You know what I'm saying? Like I just feel it. Like it's a strong disturbance in the force.
It's like I can feel it.
And my weekend was off all weekend. And like my manager's like, yeah, it'd probably be best if you stayed off social media this weekend. I'm like, yo, what the fuck's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But they was killing you. I'm not gonna lie, they was killing both of y'all.
Yeah, but there was a lot of people who had our back too. And I appreciate that. And the thing is, I will fist fight every one of you. because that's how passionate I am about my intentions. You know what I mean? Because if I was fucked up or foul, I'd have been like, yo, my bad. I did that wrong. But I can't stress enough. I did my research. This is what it says on your website. Yeah. And I was just trying to meet you where you are just to let you know that, yo, I'm rocking with what you're putting out. Because there's a lot of people who be like, I ain't humoring that shit. Like Demi Lovato refers to themselves as them, and it's just she's one person. And there's a lot of people who be like, nah, nigga, you're Demi Lovato. However, I will meet you where you're at because I asked you to call me HeadKrack. So I get it. So I will rock with this. So for anybody else that's like, yo, you was trying to make fun of it. Fuck you, no, I wasn't.
Right.
I wasn't. And you could take a number and I could stand at the end of a driveway and we could like fist fight, smack it out, headbutt, whatever the hell we want to do. Because I'm telling you, I was trying to lead with love.
Yeah, and I felt that. I really did. If I didn't think you would lead with love, I would tell you. Plus, happy Pride Month because it is June.
Yeah.
Happy Pride Month to everybody. And he Pride, okay? Happy Pride Month. But I do want to ask you, we talked about music a little bit. I know you like Kehlani. Who do you think is really doing it good right now? Because if I'm being honest, I'm old. I'm an older set millennial. I'm a grandmama millennial. I feel like music, and maybe because I'm getting old.
Right.
But I feel like music is not, the longevity isn't there.
Yeah, no, the shelf life of a lot of songs that are hot Seems very limited. This is some of the stuff that I don't want to listen to next week.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, nonetheless, like a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. There's one song out right now that I won't even mention the artist because, like, maybe one day, like, they'll be the biggest artist in the game, and it's not even about that, but it's just like it sounds like two songs are playing at the same time, and it sounds like they recorded the song with no headphones on. This is a big song, and I'm like, yo, like,
I wonder if it's the same song that I don't like. We're not gonna say it here.
I want y'all to drop the name in the comments, though.
We're not gonna say it here.
Yo, like, when I first heard this song on the radio, I was like, yo, am I having a stroke? Like, is this happening? Like, is like, yo, this is terrible. Whoa.
Does that impact you? Because this is what you do. Like, you are on the radio, you're hearing the music.
Been like this, though.
Do you think so?
Yo, it's been like every decade.
Okay.
There's always been trash in hip hop.
I agree with that. Music. I agree.
So, like, it's just the trash gets worse between point A and point B because there's a lot of amazing artists. Like, just as much, we may hear a lot of trash on the radio, but there's a gang of amazing artists, and they maybe don't all get a primetime slot. However, they're big in the festival scene. However, they're big, on playlists because, like, everybody's getting their music different than how it was where, like, hey, if you're not hearing it on the radio or listening to 106 or watching 106 in Park or Rap City.
I missed that.
Yeah, I missed those eras too. And there's other ways to discover artists. So, like, if you're only getting your music from the radio, yeah, you're gonna probably think
radio is, despite what people saying, radio is dying, because I've heard that a lot, which I think people have been saying that since television. People have been saying that radio is dying, and yet here it is. It's still here. But what I will say is that radio is big, though. Like, you need those radio plays and spins. It's important.
It is important because it gets you to a bigger audience.
Right.
But there's some people who have figured out the glitch in the matrix to where, like, yo, you don't necessarily need it. Because there's some artists there's some artists who get plays on the radio who can't sell no albums. Like, look at what Coi Leray did. And she was on the radio.
True.
But two, even though she didn't sell a gang of records, she be on these festivals.
True.
She does these shows, she goes on tour, people come. So you have to figure out what kind of artist you are and what version of a platform serves your artistry best. Okay. Because some people may have cool songs and may have a cool album, but the live performances is what takes them up a notch. Like, as dope as Doja Cat is,
don't mess with Doja. That's my girl.
Listen, as dope as Doja Cat is, the radio songs are great, but the fact that her live show is amazing
makes it better.
It brought both up a notch to where, like, she gets presented with more of these opportunities. So I feel like, as an artist, you have to kind of be an all-terrain kind of individual. So, like, you don't have to live and die whether or not your song is getting played on the biggest station in your city, but that people talk about your live show to the point to where if they know that you're in town, they're going to, like, miss a meal to come see you. And then also, too, you have to, like, be involved in people's lives in other ways, whether that be social media or doing challenges for the fans, or you have some sort of community outreach thing. You got to work multiple angles just to figure out what is that's going to ultimately sustain you. Because even when you see guys like T-Pain talking about, like, make me famous again so, like, people know that I'm not. Because there was I think he saw this TikTok the other day. They said he was somebody else. It's like,
Lil Wayne, he came
And it's just like, wow. Like, that should never happen to a T-Pain because T-Pain's music never stopped being good.
It doesn't. It
never stopped being good. Like, even his new songs are great. But this business is so finicky that they will change the locks on you without a moment's notice.
It is a fickle business, but
it is.
I will say, as a person, you are a media, I will say, guru. You do social, you're an artist yourself. You do so many different things, but, like, not to beat a dead horse, but even like when Kehlani said that would be her last interview, do you think that artists don't need radio? Do they not need to do the media press runs on radio? Like, is it unnecessary now to get?
depends on the type of artist you are. Like Beyonce doesn't do a lot of interviews, but that's mostly to protect Beyonce.
Made it though. What do you mean? Not. I'm in the Beehive. Got to play. No, my membership is bronze
too. But if you look at a lot of her interviews, they're usually under a controlled narrative, just so she don't get sandbagged with like the wrong questions. Like some people do a great job of really trying to control their narrative. So because even too, like sometimes we'll do an interview will be great. Everybody's laughing, high five. We'll get a call later from the label. Hey, the question about blah, blah, blah. Can you take that out? Or when she said such and such. Because sometimes artists give you too much. Willingly. True. And so some people need to be protected more than others. Future doesn't do a gang of interviews. He hates doing interviews.
I can see that.
So you got to know who you are, because some people could come off less likable because of interviews.
That is true. That is very, very true. But I thought you was going somewhere else with Beyonce. I was like, I carry my card in my bosom. Do not talk about the queen.
Oh, love. Now, Beyonce's brand is just so strong. Even this just been something about Beyonce from the beginning. That where everybody knew all right, she's the one in the group. She's gonna be big. And they came out at a time where okay, Destiny Child was doing interviews in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then once she got so big, she just didn't have to anymore.
But that's the thing. I think you do need the interviews until you get to, because she is not even just a music, she is an artist. She's an icon.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will never make it to that iconic status. One, I don't think music has the longevity anymore. I think that we are constantly looking for new artists. You're replaceable. No one has long-term music. As much as I love some of these, especially when I look at the female rappers, it makes me sad because it feels like their music has a 10-day shelf life and then we're on to the next one.
Absolutely. I remember we would listen to an album for about a year and some change.
Yeah.
Nonstop. And now it's all right, what you got next?
Right.
I love the Kendrick Lamar album. I haven't listened to it in about a week.
Yeah.
And I was running it into the ground when it dropped, but because my time got a little crazy in the last couple of weeks.
Well, you're boxing and fighting and working, and you got a lot going on.
Yeah, but I would say for new artists, I think it is important to do that first round of interviews and do radio and stuff like that, because that's how people really truly get to know a little bit more about you. But there's some people who have carved such a niche for themselves to where they're so mysterious that sometimes is the superpower there as well. Even thinking back when I was a kid, even as an adult, I'm a big Sade fan.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing a lot of Sade interviews.
That's a great point.
And that's what kept her mysterious. And you always wanted to know more. You know what I mean? So I think you got to know who you are, and what truly works for you. Because some people are so likable that, you need to do all the interviews. Like Lil Nas X, likable dude.
Yes.
Do all the interviews. You know what I mean? And then Rich the Kid, don't do any interviews.
Okay.
None. Do none.
But it's is it because A&R is gone, or do you think it's just a personality thing? Because they don't really get the development anymore.
Well, I think it's a mixture of both, because so here we are probably now about a generation and a half, maybe 2 generations in with these phones and tablets. People don't know how to talk anymore. People don't know how to engage, go strike up a conversation with people in a public place. So we're creating a lot more socially awkward people who don't know how to have conversations one-on-one, but they can emote well through the music.
True.
Because a lot of artists, we're weird, right? I consider myself an extroverted introvert.
Me too. I like that version.
I think it's the other way around. I'm an introverted extrovert. Yeah, I don't like going out. I don't like engaging with people until I'm out engaging with people. I get great anxiety about having to go deal with the world. Oh man, people hate that I'm here. I don't know what's going on. But then when I go outside, I get so much love, and it makes me feel better about everything that I'm doing. And it makes me feel like, oh, I'm doing the right thing. This is great. Why did I feel this way when I left the house? You know what I mean? So you got to figure that out, but what artists in this generation being so introverted and socially awkward, it does make it weird to have conversations with interviewers, because you'll have people that are like, why'd you ask me that?
Yeah.
Because you rapped about it? It was in your song, track 7, the one where you said you was going to overdose twice. Like, I'm concerned about you, brother. You know?
Should music imitate life, though? Because we see this with
does.
Young Thug.
Man,
now.
yo, listen, I literally interviewed Kodak Black. Me and L'Oreal did like a couple months back, and it was painful to listen to his album. I am not a Kodak Black fan. Like, I mean, God bless everyone who's a Kodak Black fan, but like, just for me, it's just like, I don't know, it makes my head hurt listening to him. It does, right? Okay. But I listened to the album, and there was like 2 songs back to back where he talked about he was afraid of overdosing. So I know that there's a lot of people that listen to, you know, the radio and listen to us and like who are like battling substance abuse. So like, I felt like this would be a great time to like talk about like, yo, like how concerned are you really about like, you know, like your use of drugs because you mentioned like on 2 records back to back that you're afraid of overdose. When I say that, it's like
don't do the voice
on your songs. You said them on your songs, like you said it like to the point where I noticed it. It was probably one of the only intelligible things you said on the record, you know. And like it's kind of like you didn't remember saying it. And I was like, well, damn, I guess those drugs are hitting differently then, huh? You know, and they just moved on. It was stressful. Like I actually asked them to remove me from that interview. Like once the interview was done, because
oh my gosh,
it's like nigga, you're making me work too hard, man. And I put in too much hard work to have to work so hard.
So you think it should? Because I think that there should be some level of creativity, because then like now that you go back and listen to like Young Thug and Gunna, you like, and you know, they use their lyrics in court, and that's a whole thing. Like they've been fighting that. Should that be creative? Should they be able to have that license to make it up? Like, because if it's not real, we don't want to listen to it. But then when we find out it's real, then we like, I mean, what was y'all thinking?
I think you should have common sense. I've always been an advocate of like, hey, listen, if you out here committing murders, you need to be rapping about dolphins.
Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Sense. Like, yeah, like, and that whole thing about how lyrics shouldn't be used in court, I disagree.
I do too.
Because if there's reason to believe that the lyrics in question are directly talking about a murder, then yeah, we need to look into this. Ask the family of the people who got murdered how they feel about it.
Right. I agree with that.
Because like, man, if something happened to me or mine and the answer is in lyrics and you're telling me the lyrics are inadmissible because it's art, it's over a beat. You know, and then people try to take the, make the example like, well, movies is entertainment.
Right.
But yeah, but it's not a biopic. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially in drill music, a lot of the artists in drill music was like, yo, we slid on such and such on the corner of 15th and 12th.
Step-by-step instructions.
Yeah, this is like, yo, Officer Jenkins, do your job. It's all here.
Right.
Let's get these animals off the street.
How did they catch me? I just don't know.
Man, and listen, and I hate sounding like the old guy on the stoop, but at the end of the day, like common sense is common sense. Wrong is wrong. You know, right. if you're truly doing these horrendous things that they're saying you're doing, you need to get the fuck up out of here.
True.
And I hope in the case of Young Thug and Gunna and all them, it's just all a misunderstanding.
It's a RICO charge.
However,
you know how hard a RICO charge?
Oh yeah, now they got all their T's, I's, and everything got it crossed by the time they.
That's a hard one to beat.
Yeah,
it's not a parking
they
ticket.
usually really have it together when they show up with RICO.
Yeah. You don't want RICO is not your friend, and you don't want to be nowhere near him or her or they. You don't want nothing. You don't want nothing to do with it. Let's talk about you though, because you dropped some music recently. I think in 2020 in March. Didn't you drop some music in March?
Yeah. So I did an A-side, B-side single called "Violence and for the Love." I got a new project coming out called Microdose. It's an EP. By the time this drops, the video for Violence will be out. Be sure you go to my YouTube channel and stream that up. But basically, it's just a celebration of the yin and yang, man. You can't have good without bad. And everything that you can go out there and do in the world, do it all. But, in reasonable dosages. You can't be happy all the time. You can't be angry all the time. And even in the plant-based space, there's so many things that we can do as humans that can improve our quality of life. If done in small dosages. You can exercise too much, you can exercise too little.
True.
I've been doing ayahuasca retreats for
Have
the
you?
last 2 years.
How was that?
It is single-handedly been one of the greatest life-changing things I've ever experienced.
Did you vomit and stuff like they
You
say?
definitely will vomit. Uptown or downtown, something's gonna happen.
I
And
don't want to shit and get a realization at the same. Like I just don't want that.
everybody made it to the bathroom. No one did it on themselves, and if they did, they didn't tell us. Like I made it to the bathroom safely every time, every single time. But
what did you learn? What was your realization?
That what we're going through right now in this like physical existence, this is all a pregame, and nobody should be afraid of death. Death is the most magnificent thing that will ever happen to us. Anybody that we lost that we're like crying about and that we're upset about that they're no longer here, like we're the ones who should be felt sorry for.
Okay.
Like the process of death is one of the most beautiful things.
Okay.
And
didn't you say something like that about your mom?
Yeah, like that was one of the things that I learned like during the pandemic, not the pandemic, during my first ayahuasca retreat, because I wanted to know what it felt like for my mom and my grandmother to pass. And God showed me that.
Okay.
And it made me totally at peace.
Okay.
Because I was obsessed with just grief and guilt and
I lost my mom as well. That's a hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, it hurts. It's a void that never really properly can get filled. And I was just crippled by grief, because like before my mom passed, like my grandmother passing was the worst thing that ever happened to me, because my grandmother was my other mother, and always made sure I was taken care of, so losing her was just a tremendous blow. And then losing my mom, especially like so young and so suddenly, it was just like I wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like I really couldn't like move forward in life until I knew they were okay and they're fine.
Okay.
We're the ones suffering.
Yeah, we see it every day with all of the constant mass shootings. We just had one yesterday, I think in like Iowa.
Man, like, listen, man, like, unless somebody hits reset on the whole government, we're going to continue to have the same problems we're having.
You really think they're going to reset it?
No, like, the only thing that could really reset it is a terrible war or a overthrow of power, and no one really wants that level of revolution because we're happy, like...
That's true.
Like, true. People want change, but they don't want to go through the pains that it takes for change. Like, it has to get uncomfortable for a unforeseeable amount of time in order for true change to really be instilled, Yeah,
you can't ball out in the middle of a revolution. Like you can't drop stacks at the club.
Yo, this is where you're supposed to be hoarding all your little acorns like the chipmunks or the squirrels do, and just lay low and just see what's going to happen. And and a lot of people live in check to check, so like. They're not even a lot of people aren't even financially prepared for the type of reset that would have to happen. Like, I mean, even when you look at as terrible as war is, right? When we dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, we reset that. It was terrible.
It was terrible, though.
It was awful.
For years and years and years.
Yeah, but look how tremendously they bounced back. And not saying that something like that needs to happen here in the States.
Right.
But there's so much government restructuring that needs to be done. This whole two-party system that we deal with is trash.
Agreed.
I saw somebody say something so brilliant on, I think it was Twitter. They said, all the politicians should have jackets that have the logos of all the people that are in their pockets, like the NASCAR.
Like NASCAR.
So we can know what's up, because going back to what you were saying about the shooting, man, the NRA is so far up the government's ass.
Yeah.
That like the answer for the longest time has been ban certain types of weapons. And for whatever reason we don't. And there's a compromise there.
Do you agree with that? Because Canada did that where they're banning handguns temporarily. Do you think that America should ban guns, all guns, or you just mean like AR-15s?
Like all of those Call of Duty quality guns, all those G.I. Joe ass guns, like a handgun, that's fine. And if anybody's quick to hop up and be like, but yo, we use the AR-15 for hunting.
Yeah.
If you're hunting a deer with an AR-15, you're a pussy, okay? Get a bow and arrow like the fucking Indians did.
What I
And
said.
let's get it popping. Like, that's not hunting. That's not
Right.
hunting. You're hunting a non-violent animal with an assault rifle. That is not hunting.
Right.
If you really want to be gully about it, get a knife and a bow and arrow and get it cracking.
But we're too fat as Americans. We couldn't do it.
We're so far removed. We want everything easy. There's still people out there fishing with dynamite. That's not hunting either. They're not fishing.
Yeah, I was like,
It's not
this
cool.
is murder.
Yeah. Like,
It's
so
crazy.
remove these, because even when you look at the thing that happened in Uvalde, some of the cops was like, I don't want to go in there because we don't have the firepower. So why should a civilian have more firepower than the police?
It's crazy. And then they want teachers now. They want teachers to be packing. I don't know. I don't want that. I don't want to be a
Yeah.
teacher and carry, like, you got to be the social worker, a police officer, security, and you got to teach these badass kids. No.
Yeah, like, you're going to have to, like, quadruple their salary. You know, we ask a lot of our kids, you know,
do.
and as a child, you should be able to go to school and know you won't be shot.
Agreed.
And you should know your lunch is going to be hitting too.
That too. Because these lunches are, I remember our lunches were, I feel like they were better than they are now.
Yo, I
Square
went
pizza.
to lunch with my kid one day and I was like, what is this? It was like, it was so unbalanced. It was like carb, snack, dessert. Eat your pizza so you can have your cake.
Right. Yeah, do something. Them square pizzas got us poor kids through, and this is why we are here today.
What was your favorite, like, school lunch thing?
It to me had to be the pepperoni. Well, the pepperoni pizza. At one point, they stopped being square, and then they started giving us the slices. I don't know if y'all had them, the triangle joints, like the actual slices.
It wasn't the same?
It wasn't the same. They changed the game on us, and it had pepperoni on it. Y'all they didn't give y'all pepperonis.
Nah, like, I had
Just the
like,
rectangle with cheese.
They would either do I think it was like the sausage or hamburger pizza.
I
or
never
just
had
cheese. Yeah, like, because like I did some school in New York, did some school in Texas. Private school.
that. A private fry was better.
Yeah, in private school, we had like the French bread pizzas.
See, that
And
ain't fair.
it was different.
That's not fair.
I preferred the rectangle pizzas, personally.
Really?
However, when
Let's be honest, them rectangle pizzas were never truly done. That dough, it was the extra dough. Them
it was a little chewy. A little chewy there. But so when I moved to Texas, did they do chicken fried steak at your school?
No.
So let me tell you something. So when I'm going to school in Texas, they would give us chicken fried steak. And I'm like, what is chicken fried steak? Why would you fry steak like chicken? Ew. I waited till my senior year to finally try it. And when I finally tried it, it was amazing. And I was mad at myself because I could have been eating chicken fried steak every Thursday. And it came with this roll, and I would open the roll, I put the chicken fried steak into, like, because like you would need 2 rolls to really put the whole chicken fried steak in there. So I would always buy an extra roll at that point. And yo, I was smashing the chicken fried steak. It was so good. It was so good.
We didn't have that. Now we did have Thanksgiving dinner. They would give you the turkey with the gravy and the mashed potatoes. But we didn't have that. See, Maryland, Baltimore, we lucky we had that. Like, I can't even.
Man, like, you know, it's weird how like things just be different regionally. Like the fact that like y'all never had chicken fried steak, and the chicken fried steak was like a food chain staple in the South.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, yeah, they definitely gonna throw pizza at you above the Mason-Dixon line. Like, yo, a place where they won the Civil War, like they're giving you like multiple types of pizza.
Right. And shout out
in
to
different
all the
brands.
reduced lunch. That got me through.
Oh, reduced lunch was clutch. Like, I had reduced or free lunch most of my school career.
Me too. And it got us through.
That's the least they can do. Because, like, you know, for each student that shows up every day, the school got a lot of money.
They do.
You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like it's not much to ask for them to feed the children.
Well, they used to give you peanut butter and jelly sandwiches if you couldn't afford it, but now you can't eat. I was like, when did this happen? When you can't even bring a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in a school?
Yeah, like, we've gotten weird as a society, and I understand that there's some people who will explode if a peanut is anywhere near them, and it's just like, where were y'all in the 80s?
I don't know. It didn't exist.
Because no one ever exploded around me or like never.
Or had did you ever meet anybody with a peanut allergy as a kid?
I have now as an adult, but it's like, how did you survive the 80s? Because I didn't go to school with you. Like, no one stopped me from eating anything, but yet you're here. And now, but with that being said, nobody should be eating peanuts anyway. Like, peanuts are actually terrible for you.
Are they really?
Yo, man, we're so misinformed about so many things. And of all people, the person who put me onto that path of like peanut enlightenment, Marlon Wayans.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, one day I was like eating some peanut butter crackers and he came into the studio for an interview and I was like, yo, you want crackers? He's like, hell no, you want to die? And I'm like, yo, what do you mean? Like, yo, peanut butter is terrible for you. And I started looking it up because peanuts are actually a fungus, right? And I mean, it's not like you'll die immediately if you eat peanuts, but it's not like a lot of people think that they're healthy for us and they're not really healthy. Your body doesn't break it down. That's why on the downtown side of things, a lot of times peanuts still be intact.
Oh, you're right.
You know what I mean? Same thing with corn. Like your body doesn't really truly break that down all the way.
You're right. You be like, it's been a whole day. It's still there. Like,
I thought I chewed that one. Why is it whole again? I don't understand. But cashew butter, all that stuff is a little more expensive and the consistency is different. But
I do eat almonds. I do like cashew butter. But we gotta eat it for George Washington Carver. We gotta do it for him.
I know, and like I used to be a peanut guy. I just shovel so many peanuts in my mouth thinking I was eating something healthy, but two, also even understanding portion control. Because I'm like, I'm eating trail mix, so I can eat 9 fistfuls full of it. Little did you know, you just ate 3,000 calories worth of trail mix.
Right. Am I gaining weight?
And these are all things that I was still learning 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're figuring it out. So you never stop learning on how to like take care of yourself and live longer.
I agree with that. Now let's make a prediction.
Okay.
So this is going to be coming out on the 20th. You are going to win. How many is this exhibition?
It's 3 rounds, 3 1-minute rounds.
Okay.
And I'm predicting it's gonna go to distance. I think it's really hard to knock somebody out in 3 minutes unless they're either super unskilled,
okay,
or or one of them people wasn't supposed to be in there. Okay. And clearly he's an athlete.
Right.
I've been working really hard in the gym, getting hit hard, taking shots, giving shots back.
Okay.
So I definitely think, the give and take is going to be there. So I think it's going to go to distance. It's about really who can land more, clean shots between point A and point B, to be honest with you.
Okay. So maybe KO, maybe 3rd round?
Listen, if he's coming at me hard in the 3rd round, I'm coming back hard at him too, because I ain't no punk.
Okay.
At the end of the day, hit me, I'm going to hit you back, and I'm going to hit you back hard, I promise.
Okay. Now, also, who do you predict? Because I think Black China, she's going to be there.
I like how Black China's looking in training. I got a chance to talk to her at the face-off about a couple weeks back. She focused. She was in there training with Zab Judah over there in L.A.
Okay.
So, I definitely, I like Black China for her situation. I'm going with my boy Cisco Rosado in his fight.
Okay.
If Benzino made it out of jail in time, I'm going to go with Benzino.
Okay.
In his situation, because he got that old man strength.
Okay. He is very built like
groundskeeper Willie from The Simpsons. It's weird. You'd expect it to be cut like that, but lo and behold.
Right. Okay. And do you think that? So I know is Omarosa's a commentator. And
yeah, she's coming through to commentate. I think she's too elegant to fight.
Yeah. Not Omarosa. No.
I know a lot of people want to fight Omarosa, but those people don't know Omarosa.
I see her. She was very nice.
Omarosa's awesome. The person you see, it's going back to Kevin Samuels' conversation.
Okay.
Some people know how to play the game. And as it related to reality TV, Omarosa knew how to play that game.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
With Trump.
Yeah. So, but in real life, man, Omarosa is a class act, sweet lady, the opposite of what you would expect.
Yeah, I think someone knew her and Michael Clark Duncan, and they actually allowed them to sleep on their sofa and everything while they was getting their footing. And how, like, I heard they were really, she's a really nice woman, actually,
Yeah.
despite what people have been told. And then Flavor Flav is going to be the announcer, and you got Rashid Evans as the celebrity referee.
Yeah, Rashad Evans, man, UFC legend, Flavor Flav, Public Enemy, you know what I mean? Like, and I saw him do the ring announcing stuff at the fight they did back in March, and he's good. He's good, man. Like, celebrity boxing is going to be around for a while. You know what I mean? I think they finally have gotten all the great pieces in place that's making it its own thing, and if they can keep, building on the design, man, I think this thing will be here for 20, 30 more years.
Okay, I like it. I like it. So we've got his predictions, and where can people go to get your music? Because we didn't talk about the Bodega. Are you guys?
Listen, Bodega Brothers, we just did a show that we curated ourselves in Dallas about 2 weeks ago. And it is so fun and so great to see people still rocking with the brand, even though like our output isn't as rapid as we would always like it to be. But Bodega Brothers dropped a single called Rampage, I think back in April.
Okay.
That video's up right now. You can type in Bodega Brothers, Bodega Rampage. That'll come right up. We got some new Bodega music coming down the pipeline. My music is available at Spotify, Tidal, iTunes, wherever you're stealing your music from. HeadKrack. And tap in, because these next two singles from Microdose are going to be great. They're gonna make you feel good, and they just in time for the summer too.
I like it. And then, of course, you can find him each and every morning on the Morning Hustle. And you got to know where you at. Depending on where you at, it's going to change the station. But make sure you listen to them on the Morning Hustle. I know I do. I can't wait to hear your music and see everything that you're doing. And I'm going to be rooting for you. I'm going to be watching you. You got to do it right.
Yeah, you got to do it right. Like, I don't want to let anybody down. So I am here to, just say thank you for everybody who believed in me. Everybody who supported me. And listen, I'm not here to let you down, man. I'm here to bring the culture up.
All right. Future celebrity champ. I'm a heavavyweight. Yeah, they say heavyweight. I'm heavyweight.
I'm heavyweight. Because right now I'm probably like 212 right now.
Are you really?
Yeah, but like when I started training for this fight, I was like 235.
Really?
Yeah, like I dropped tremendous weight. Like, just getting out there, jumping rope, shadow boxing, sparring, the whole nine.
You really look like you can kick somebody's ass. So I know you can do it, and I can't wait to see it.
I am ready to kick some ass.
The nicest guy, though.
Yeah, like the beauty of boxing, and even like the other day, like I sparred with a guy, and it was my first time sparring with him. It was like punching a radiator. This guy is like really solid, man, and he hit me with some amazing shots, man. Like probably like the hardest punches I've taken in sparring, and just like you get such a respect for not only the craft, but the people that participate in it. We was talking for like 10, 15 minutes, like after sparring, man. Like, yo, man, will you hit me with this? Like, man, that was crazy. It's just, it's just people trying to improve each other. You know what I mean? And it's a gentleman's sport. So you can't really necessarily go into it with like a Viking. I mean, you can go into it with a Viking mentality, but it's more of a mental game than it is a
physical
rah. Because like sometimes your emotions can make you lose the fight.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so at the end of the day, you are a man. I am a man. And we're going to punch each other.
Yeah.
And one person's going to be able to take more punches than the other person. The end. You can growl at me. You can show me your teeth. You can do all this little cuckoo shit. But at the end of the day, I understand it's theatrics. You know what I mean? And none of that shit's going to scare me because, like, you wouldn't do the shit outside of the ring. You wouldn't bark at the person outside. So none of those theatrics would move me. If I saw a man barking, like walking down the street, I'm gonna go the other way or call the police.
Yeah, you're not gonna. Don't engage. If that's a warning, kids. If somebody's barking in real life, call 911.
And I don't even know if you should do that because the cop's gonna shoot them.
True.
So
walk away.
Just leave them alone.
Yeah, walk away. Run real fast. Maybe not walk. Maybe just run real fast. But you can come back anytime you want. I absolutely love every time I speak to you. You are so genuine and so nice. I said that the first time I met you, and I'm saying it now. You're so awesome.
Well, thank you for the love. This has been a fun interview, and I don't tell me to come back, because I will.
Oh no, I'm gonna hold you to it. I'm gonna hold you to because after you, I gotta talk to you. Win, lose, or draw.
Win, lose, or draw. I'm here for all the conversation. If I lose, guess what? I fought a UFC fighter. I'm on the radio.
Right?
I'm on the radio.
It's really a win. Now that you think about it, it's really a win-win. You actually can't lose.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, like, somebody from LA gonna be like, yo, that nigga HeadKrack got heart.
Right.
He got a lot of heart.
Right.
A lot of people don't have the heart to do what he did.
You can't lose. It's win-win because, like you said, look.
Yo, if I knock him out, wow, the guy from Dish
It's
Nation
like
knocked
Jake
out Kimbo
Paul.
Slice Jr. But here's the thing. They let Jake Paul learn Jake Paul figured out how to fight on the way.
True.
Because at first it's like, yo, this YouTube guy, right?
Right.
But no, this YouTube guy took it very seriously,
Mhm.
trained nonstop, and continued to train. And now he's an actual fighter.
True, but he has been fighting retired basketball players, and it's not really like.
But that was the testing ground. Because
Sure.
in order
I mean,
to
with
fight
Floyd-
in order to fight those retired basketball players, well, Floyd fought Logan Paul.
Logan.
So that was different. And that was just a money grab.
Okay.
Floyd could have beat Logan Paul anytime he wanted to. But it was an exhibition. And that's why you got to
Okay.
look at the fine print. When it's an exhibition.
Well, he was saying he was beating his ass, so
Who? Logan said he was
Logan
beating Floyd?
said he won. So
And that's what Logan is supposed to say. But Logan definitely didn't win that fight. I watched it. I feel like you did too. Logan didn't win that fight. Floyd allowed him to survive so people could get their money's worth. Because at the end of the day, people wanted to see a show. But
Okay.
Jake Paul, he's a boxer now.
Okay.
And he had to fight some football players. And and the MMA guy he beat up, I mean, the MMA guy had every right to be there.
Okay.
But Jake has been putting in more work and training out, and he has the physicality for it. Like
Okay.
if I wouldn't fight Jake Paul.
You would not.
No,
I'm gonna let you go. I promise I am. But
No,
is there somebody that you wouldn't like if they came to you and they were like, "This is the person that you're fighting. Like, we're gonna have you fight Mike Tyson." Would you say yes, or would you say hell no? Like, are there people that you were like,
I would fight Mike Tyson in an exhibition.
really?
Because in an exhibition, Mike isn't really trying to kill me.
You don't think so?
No, it's different. Because an exhibition is like, hey, we're going to fight and we're just going to keep everybody alive for the duration of the fight. Because if you notice, in exhibition matches, people typically don't get knocked out
They don't.
in exhibition matches because it's a show. We're going to do a display of boxing. What would happen if Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali fought? That kind of thing, right? So,
Did you watch the Roy Wood Jr. when he was boxing?
Roy Jr. Roy
It-
Wood Jr. That would be wild. If
Not Roy.
If comedian Roy Wood Jr.
You
fought
not
Mike
Roy
Tyson, that'd
Wood
be
Jr.
wild.
No, not
No, but I did watch Roy Jones and Mike
Roy
Tyson.
Jones, yeah.
Yeah, and Mike was rocking Roy. And then if
he
you
said
peep
it hurt though.
yeah, but Mike was keeping Roy up because Roy was taking some shots. And Mike could have finished Roy if he wanted to, but he didn't want to do that to him because it's an exhibition. It's like, hey, we're both going to come out of
But
this.
he's
looking
also
good.
53, 54
Man,
up there.
but
Do you
that-
think Mike still got the power?
Oh, hell yeah. Like that muscle memory never goes anywhere. Like the
Okay.
ability to throw a punch. I've watched him like even now, just do some displays, just showing people how to throw punches. And I wouldn't want to take none of that in a real.
So
He beat the man up on the plane gently.
he did.
He-
He did. And he be
could-
taunting. He
Yo.
taunts people. Look at the ears he has on his cannabis.
Oh yeah, the Holyfield is. Yo, he could have beat that guy on the plane into pudding, and he gently beat him up. Just let
If
him know.
that's
like,
what
I'm-
gentle is, I guess. I mean, that looked like that hurt.
Yeah,
that shit
but-
hurt. I know it
But the
hurt.
difference between like doing an exhibition and doing like a real fight with somebody else is like it requires a lot of time. And
It
like
does.
and I only have so much time. So somebody like a Jake Paul who all they do is like TikToks and YouTubes and could spend the rest of their day training.
You don't want that.
Yeah, like I get in the gym 4 days a week if I'm lucky.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you have to be able to put that much into the craft. Because even like preparing for the fight, like I haven't really been doing music. Like all the music that I'm releasing is music that I completed before I started this.
Okay.
So like I had to take time off from everything. I haven't been acting or like actively pursuing auditions. I've even like scaled back the amount of like, people that I want to interview because it requires time and
Okay.
effort and like a little bit of woosah space in your head too to to do it all. So I would like if I fought somebody again, it would have to be somebody who's as equally encumbered as I am. Because even coming into
Okay.
this, I wanted to fight another radio guy.
I was gonna ask you that.
none
Like,
of the-
would you fight
nobody-
DL or like
DL
maybe
is way older than
a
me.
podcaster, maybe like Joe Budden? Like maybe if Joe.
I would do Joe Budden, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Because
Maybe.
Joe's crazy, so like that would be a good fight. Like, and I feel like Joe would put in the work in the gym to make it interesting.
Somebody make that happen.
Yeah, no,
I
that'd
think-
be good because like Joe's a maniac, and I think Joe would be good in the ring. Joe would probably be like, "Yo, I want to do MMA though," and that's why I step out. Like, you're not.
You don't do
kicking me.
MMA? You're
Hell,
not kicking people?
You're not kicking me in the head, no. And there's a different level of cardio that goes into MMA. I have the cardio for what I'm doing now.
Okay. All right. I got you. I feel you. But I could see that. And I want you to come back because now we have to talk about the after and what had happened. Either way, like I said, you're a champ. Either way.
Win,
'cause
lose, or
you're
draw,
awesome.
I'm here for you, love.
One day I'm gonna come to Atlanta and you gotta have lunch. You gotta have lunch. All right.
I know all the food places. I got you.
I know they say y'all rough like we're rough here in Baltimore.
Like, I feel like the biggest threat to the city of Atlanta is like the water boys.
Okay. Okay.
Like,
You're
they're
not
very-
really talking about the people that hand out
They're very
water.
aggressive. Very aggressive. You get caught at a light and like, and you hold up your bottle of water and be like, "How come you don't support my dream?" I'm like, "God damn, I don't got no cash. You can sell me." Fuck. Like,
You ain't seen shit yet, so you see the squeegee boys that we
I'm
have.
from New York, man. We made like, the squeegee people would make your car dirtier than it was before you ran into the squeegee people.
Right? Like, why are you doing this to me?
Like, damn, now I gotta go to a real car wash. Thanks.
And they're mad aggressive. They are angry.
Yeah, no, we don't have the squeegee people, but I would gladly do a foreign exchange student program where we send the water boys of Atlanta to Baltimore. Let us hold just squeegee people for a summer and let's see who had it worse to begin with.
I like that. I like that idea. Maybe that's what we can do because we got a problem here. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out.
As we always do. We always will figure it out.
Yeah, and if you, like I said, just call me. If you ever need a guest host, I'm here. You let me know.
Noted. And
All right.
I love your energy and continued success on everything you're doing.
Thank you.
And you have an amazing line of questioning. And this didn't even feel like an interview as much as it felt like a conversation. So thank you for your time.
Oh, that's what I try to do. Well, I'm not going to hold you anymore because I know you busy. You got to go knock somebody out. So I appreciate you. Come back anytime.
I'll be